I'm here with Antony McNeil. He's the head of food and beverage at Singapore Air. Hi, Antony.
Hi, how are you today?
I am doing great. How are you this morning over in Singapore?
I'm doing very well. It looks like it's dinner time there for you, so we might have to cook up some treats.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. So, what we're cooking today is an herb roasted chicken breast, a braised black beluga lentils, and roasted caramelized vine tomatoes. So, tell me about where, how you would serve these dishes at Singapore Air. Are they currently in your roster, and what type of routes, what type of, where in the aircraft?
Yeah. So this particular dish was created with one of our wellness partners in the US to launch our Newark flight when we reintroduced the world's longest flight from Newark in 2018. And the opportunity for this dish is really to showcase how simple a healthy wellness dish can be, but also on the other hand that this dish is flying economy, premium economy, and then also will we fly it in business class as well, which is one of the cabins which is available from Newark. And it really to showcase that we use premium ingredients in all cabins, and that every dish is a restaurant quality dish. It just depends on the plate or the dishing style as per the cabin class. And yeah, it features in business class, as I mentioned, and that gets packed in a foil kit for flight. So the caterer prepares all the ingredients, all the components, which is what we've done today for our preparation. And then the dish itself gets then put into little compartments and then gets packed in foil for the aircraft, and then the crew heat this on board. So for today's dishing purpose, we'll do a plated version on a business class plate from Singapore Airlines, and then we'll do also a restaurant version.
Okay, and this is also these are designed to be healthful, correct?
Yeah, that's right. So the ingredients are all either organic or farm raised or free range chickens or meats. The lentils and the veggies obviously promote a wellness factor. Olive oil is good for you, and it's designed not to make you feel full or feel bloated, during an 18-hour flight. To present you with a much more comfortable dining experience. And of course, it's quite flavorful because introducing things like garlic, which is healthy, vinegar, which is tart, and of course, it's an all-round great dish for a roasted chicken breast at the end of the day, just with some added benefits.
Well, I'm looking forward to let's get cooking.
All right. So what we'll do is we're just taking a little bit of a journey and the preparation that we've gone through. So just let me know if that's clear enough for you.
I see it
essentially,
all.
Great. So essentially what we do is we start with a recipe, which is very straightforward. It's pretty much like what you would find in a recipe book. It's all mapped out, part 1, part 2. So, we cook the lentils, pre-cook the lentils first to help the cooking process. And then of course, all of the veggies and so on, which, accommodate the flavor profile. So that's the lentil component, and we'll cook that last because that's the fastest thing to cook. Second part, it will be the tomato jam, or the caramelized tomatoes, as you mentioned, and I'll just show you a couple of small techniques to get that underway. So that's a little bit like a sweet and sour agrodolce type sort of tomato dressing. The vinegar, the tomato give you lots of umami flavors and works very well with the lentils and the chicken. And then of course we've got a couple of chicken breasts here. Very simple. I've kept the bone on mine just so I can demonstrate what a restaurant quality version may be against an airline version, but just for presentation. We've just marinated it very simply: olive oil, thyme, fresh thyme, a little bit of garlic, and yeah, we've let that marinate overnight in the fridge. So yeah, that's it. 3 components really. I mean, there's lots of little pieces, but once it comes together, it'll be quite tasty and quite simple, quite fast.
Okay. Sounds good.
So how's your prep looking?
I'm proud to say that I have mine marinated. It doesn't. So far, it looks pretty good. So.
Looks all right from here. I hope you haven't had dinner tonight, so it looks like you're going to be indulging well. Okay. All right. So part of the cooking process, I'm just going to step out of the shop. We need three pans, which I'm sure you've got. Okay. And we're just going to start up the fry pan so we can get the chicken roasting. So we'll just fire up the gas or the electricity or whatever you've got there.
So should I,
Now
the fry pan, I should turn it on how hot?
so you probably want about medium heat, okay? So you want to be able to just sort of put your hand in the top of the pan as it warms up, and you can feel it. You should be able to feel it heating up nicely.
Okay. And let's see. So do I need to put anything on the pan other than the chicken itself?
Okay, so just let the pan warm up first.
Okay.
So it's always good to preheat your pan. Now with the chicken, we'll bring the chicken over. I know we've marinated it in garlic, thyme, olive oil, but we'll still need to put some salt and pepper. So if you've got a salt grinder, pepper grinder, or a sprinkle of salt, we'll just put that on top now.
Okay.
Okay. So season skin sides first.
Inside first. Okay.
Okay. And then we'll turn the bird over, and then salt, pepper on the bottom side as well. So just move over now to your stove, to the fry pan.
Mm-hmm.
You probably need a tablespoon of olive oil into the pan. Yeah, so just drop the tablespoon of olive oil into the fry pan. Don't want too much because obviously the chicken is going to release some of its own juices and fat, so we'll use that to incorporate into the cooking. All right, and then a couple of pieces of butter, a couple of small cubes of butter, and that'll help also flavour the chicken and the cooking process as we move along.
Very sophisticated. Big knife for
Yeah.
already melted butter.
I'm with you. Okay, so hopefully the pan's warm enough and the butter's starting to melt, mix in with the oil.
Right away. Yeah.
All right, so if you look at the pan, the butter should be sort of foaming, mixing of the oil.
It is.
Yeah, okay, nice and foamy there. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put the chicken breast skin side down into the pan.
Skin side down. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so we want the chicken breast, the skin to color up nice and gold and caramelized. And just add in any of the marinade that exists in your pan.
Marinade on the bottom, add it in.
Yep. And that's going to continue to add flavor while we cook. Okay, so the heat now, just maybe turn the heat down to a medium level on the gas, and we'll just let the chicken cook for about 3 to 4 minutes, skin side down. All right, so we'll just let that sit for a few minutes quite comfortably. Now we need to get a second saucepan, and we'll start the tomatoes. Okay, the tomato jam.
I need you to help me with we're cutting little X's, right?
That's right. So if you look at the bottom of the tomato, so you've got the stem at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just turn the tomato over,
Mm-hmm.
and you just want to cut a little X in the bottom. Okay. Not too big, small cut. Okay. I suppose just under 1/4 inch cut there.
Okay, this is a little smaller. All right. How many of these should I do?
Probably 10 or 12 pieces.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you've got a lot there, you can cook the whole lot if you like.
Well, I have a bunch. It was the one I couldn't find them on the vine here in Denver. We obviously need to have a talk with Whole Foods.
It's just step up, okay? All right. So while you're doing that, just step over to the stove to make sure your chicken is not burning. Just do a quick double check.
It's crackling.
Okay. So if you've got some tongs or a fork, just lift it up to check the color of the skin.
Skin looks like skin, so doesn't really change color much.
Okay. So can you see mine now on the screen? So we want just a little bit more color. Hang on, I'll lift the pan up.
I want it to brown a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me know when you get to the chicken color about that.
Okay.
And then when it's at that color, we'll turn it over. Okay. All right, how's the tomato cutting going?
It's going well. I got a dozen of them. That should be good. Yeah. Yeah, that's looking just about perfect, I think. Something like
Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so just turn it over.
Yeah.
Okay, and then just let it cook on the next side again for another sort of 3-4 minutes. And then once we get that caramelization on the bottom, then we'll pop it in the oven. Okay.
My oven it's at 360 right now. It should be ready to go.
Just grab a piece of aluminium foil or aluminum foil, as you would say in the US. And then just put that over the chicken, and then that will rest while we do the lentils and while we do the jam, the tomato jam. So that will just continue to cook in its own heat in the pan. So that's fine.
So tell me real quickly why
just leave it.
you fry it and then put it in the oven.
All right, because we want the chicken. We want the skin to be nice and caramelized, nice and crunchy. Okay, and then so if we continue to cook with the chicken breast in the pan at that temperature, obviously the skin will burn. Okay, so we take the chicken off the direct heat in the gas, and then we allow the oven to sort of cook it more uniformly all the way around, and also retains the moisture of the bird. So it's sort of a 2-step process, but I think you get a much nicer result. And that's exactly what we would do in a catering unit. So the chefs would cook it skin side down first to get the color, make sure the presentation's right, and then they would put it on an oven tray and then finish cooking the chicken partly in the oven, and then it would go through a cold chill process, ready for packing for in-flight. So let's do the tomatoes.
Okay.
It's a little bit sweet and sour, which is what we want, but we'll start cooking. So same thing again, just get yourself your flat pan that you showed me earlier. Okay, just put that on a medium heat again on the. That's it. So put that on a medium heat on the stove. Okay. And same thing again. We're just going to let it warm up gently. Now into the pan, I'm going to add some olive oil as per the recipe. Olive oil, and give it a good hit. Don't be shy on this on the olive oil here.
So just like a tablespoon, or even more than that.
Maybe about 2 tablespoons there. Yep.
Okay, so nice. Okay.
Okay. Looks like my chocolate Labrador stolen my oregano, so I'll get some more.
Smart dog.
All right, so olive oil's in the pan. So we're going to add our onion. So it can be red onion, white onion, with the garlic.
So onion and garlic.
Yep. So put that into the pan. We'll just hear that sizzle very gently.
And it was just supposed to be like, I think maybe, how much was it? It was just an ounce, huh?
Yeah, it wasn't much. It was about 30 grams, 1 ounce. So what this is doing is just building the flavor base, giving some savory flavors to the tomato jam, because we're going to add vinegar and a little bit of soft brown sugar later on.
That looked like about the right amount.
Yeah, you can put a little bit more if you've got some extra. Just pop it in. It's fine. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to cook the onions on that medium heat We don't want them to color too quickly. We want them just to sort of soften and, what we call sweat the flavors out and until they become soft. And then we'll add the tomatoes to the pan. We'll give a little bit of color to the tomatoes.
Okay.
And then we'll add the sugar and the balsamic vinegar. Okay. So, all right. So all good with the onions. So you might want to just give them a little bit of a stir so that they don't stick to your pan there. I'm not sure. Have you got a happy spoon with you today?
Mine's not as happy as yours.
Okay, so with the onions, hopefully they're sort of softening up, and you'll start to get the smell, the fragrance of the garlic cooking through, and the onions starting to come through, which is what we want. And when you start to smell the garlic becoming fragrant, then we'll add in the tomatoes to the pan at that point. Great. So what we want to do is now we want to just add the tomatoes into the pan.
Okay.
All right. So luckily enough, I found some tomatoes on a stem in Singapore, which is not always easy. Okay. Yep. So just pop the tomatoes straight in the pan.
But I can leave leave the stems on, right? To the extent that they're there.
Yeah, correct. That's fine. It'll give you a little bit of presentation value. All right. Okay. And we just want the tomatoes just to sort of soften, blister a little bit on the bake. So if I pull that up on the bottom here, you'll see the tomatoes starting to sort of blister gently. And the X that we cut earlier will start to open up.
Should I try to point the X down?
Just roll the pan around and they'll naturally find their way. So that's okay. All right, so you'll start to see now, like I said, the tomatoes, where the X is there, it's starting to open up. And that's perfectly okay because we want to maintain the integrity of the tomato, but we also want some of the tomato juices to come out during the cooking process. So we'll see that happen. All right. So I'm just going to ask you to turn the heat up a little bit on those tomatoes. Okay.
About maybe 7 or so.
Yeah, that'd be fine. What are you cooking on, gas or electric?
Electric.
Okay. Yeah, about 7.
Okay.
Okay. So pop your balsamic vinegar into the pan.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. And then we're going to add in the soft brown sugar.
Let's see. The soft brown sugar we had.
Soft brown sugar we had around 2 ounces, about 60 grams.
60 grams. How does gram translate to milliliter or teaspoon?
If it's probably 2 tablespoons, 2 dessert spoons.
2 tablespoons?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. And then off the back of that, it's about half a teaspoon of oregano, I think it is, or oregano. Yeah, half a teaspoon. So I'm just going to use my exact measuring device here. Okay.
Now, should I be swishing this around so that it's kind of balanced? Stirring it a little.
Yeah. So when it starts if you've got it on 7, as soon as it starts to sort of come up to the boil, then just turn the heat down to probably 2 or 3, just so we just want to start to caramelize very gently while we're cooking, then finishing off the lentils.
Okay, so I also need the oregano, right? So you said a teaspoon of oregano?
Yeah, about a teaspoon. You can use fresh oregano. It just depends what you've got in the fridge or the cupboard or the garden. So when you go back to the stove, you'll start to smell the acid from the vinegar burning off. What we want to do is we want to burn the vinegar off, or burn the acidity off of the vinegar, and the brown sugar and the tomato juices will start to caramelize. We just need to watch this because we don't want it to turn into a sticky black mess in our pan.
So we need to watch it pretty closely, you said?
Yeah, probably every 2-3 minutes we'll come back and
Okay.
have a peek at it.
Okay.
All right. Just while we're on the tomatoes,
Mhm.
when we go back to the tomatoes on the stove, just grab yourself a spoon, and we want to just sort of marinate the tomatoes with the juices as they're cooking. Sort of every 2-3 minutes when we go back to make sure we're not burning them. All right. So whilst that's cooking, we're going to start the lentils. Okay, so once you've got all the white veggies, they should be nicely softened up.
Now,
We're going to add in the.
it's kind of boiling. Should I turn it down?
Yes, please. Yeah.
So,
All right.
okay.
So once all the white veggies are sort of in, we're going to add the carrots, the garlic. Just add the garlic in now. That's fine with the carrots. All right. Now here comes the magic. Stir those around a little bit so the garlic, the aromatics of the garlic will start to come through. And as soon as the garlic starts to smell of a nice cooking, roasting smell, you can add in the black lentils and then just incorporate them into the mix. We'll add the white wine in to the mix now.
Okay, so let's see, the wine.
Yep.
Couple.
Hopefully, you got a glass for yourself to share with your dinner.
I already have been doing that. So just a couple splashes, basically.
Yeah, you just want a good splash. So what you want to hear is the sizzle of the wine hit the bottom of the pan. Okay, then just turn the temperature up to sort of medium high. That'll be about number 7 on the dial there. And we just want the wine to evaporate. So just cook that and stir and bring the wine flavor through the lentils, but we don't want to see any liquid in the bottom of the pan. All right. Okay, so just go back, double check that the liquid is sort of all evaporated out from the lentil base there. And then if you've got some chicken stock, what we're going to do is just turn this down now to a low heat and add sort of half a cup of chicken stock into the lentil mix.
Okay, so kind of a low heat and half a cup chicken stock.
Yep. And fresh chicken stock or chicken bouillon, stock cube, whatever you have on hand, that's fine.
Half a cup though.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect. That was good. Excellent. And then just add that in. So just make sure the pan's on low heat when you add that in. So we just want a little bit of liquid in the bottom of the pan. You can see that there.
Show you what this looks like.
Yeah, that looks okay. And we're just going to probably drop another tablespoon of butter into that mix just to enrich the lentils.
Okay. I like that the healthy dish can still have a lot of butter in it. So.
Well, the thing is here, it's a balanced dish, right? So you've got a little bit of dairy, you've got natural fats and oils, which is obviously important to maintain your sustenance. And these are essential oils, right? And then of course you've got the lentils, which are high in protein, of course a little bit of carbs, but once we get the chicken on with the lentils, and then the sweet and sour of the tomato jam, we've got a fairly balanced diet. And of course we're not eating a kilo of butter with this dish. It's just we're building the flavors gently through the ingredient profile here. Okay, so I think we're almost done. We've got a little bit of chopped parsley that we need to add into the mix. I don't know if you've got that there. And hopefully what you've got is a really nice colourful mosaic of vegetables and lentils, and the green just will help that dish pop in terms of presence on the plate.
Yeah, it looks great.
Excellent. Well, if it looks great, we're halfway there. Now we just need to make sure it tastes great.
Pretty good.
Okay, so one thing you need to do is you need to taste. You need to taste the lentil mix, and just grab a spoon, And of course, before we serve anything, we want to just make sure the salt, pepper, right, the seasoning content is correct. And I think we're in a good space.
Yeah, it tastes really good. I do think a little bit. I also will add a little more salt and pepper.
So I just probably put four grinds of the salt and probably a good 3-4 grinds of black pepper, cracked pepper.
Okay.
Just mix that through again. Make sure that's nicely combined. All right, and I think we're in a good space. We can start the magic on a plate. All right. So what we're going to do now is if everything's ready, all the components are ready, just move it over to your bench where you've got your plates, and then we can start the magic. Okay. So I'm going to do 2 plates. I've got a business class plate from Singapore Airlines, and I've got a sort of a restaurant style plate that you might have in a high-end restaurant. Okay. So just spoon your lentils to the middle of the plate. So maybe 3 or 4 good spoons, tablespoons, nice and generous.
So lentils to the middle of the main plate.
Yep, that's right.
So
then we're going to bring the chickens.
that look like a good amount.
Yeah, that looks great.
Okay.
Don't forget you've got to eat this for dinner, so. Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to start with 1 piece, right? For both.
Okay, that's right. No, just 1 piece for 1 serve.
Okay.
Just put the chicken breast to the center there.
Yeah.
And then we're going to grab our tomatoes, which have become nice and sticky. Okay, and then we're just going to rest them on top.
Put them on top of the chicken.
On top of the chicken. Okay. And just grab your olive oil. Just put your thumb on top of the bottle, on top of the cap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just turn it upside down. And then just sort of release it very gently around the plate or over the chicken breast. I'm just going to finish the restaurant style dish. But essentially we've got a beautiful, beautiful dish here, which is being used for in-flight as we speak.
It looks great. I'm going to photograph it and sample it before we sign off.
Yeah, please do.
Let's see what we get here. Let's see if I was able to do it, half as well as I'm sure it's always done by you all.
Well, we've got many great catering partners around the world which work with us, and it's a credit to them on their daily delivery in support of Singapore Airlines. So we have also to thank them for their commitment to our food and beverage every day on board the airline.
Thanks so much for working with me, Anthony. This is definitely one of the best meals that's ever been prepared, at least in this apartment in Denver, Colorado. So tomatoes are fantastic, and it's all
excellent. So
all really good.
And that's really a restaurant quality meal, as I just sort of mentioned. There's 2 dishes side by side, and the only thing that's different is the plate. We just want to make sure that what we deliver on board the aircraft is a world-class cuisine.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the important thing is that that you like it, that it's tasty and it's flavorful, and that's what you would have replicated on board a Singapore Airlines aircraft.
Really appreciate the time and your
Yeah,
excellent.
thanks, Robert. My pleasure. It was we got there in the end, but hopefully it wasn't too challenging.